Hey South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. What decisions are being made by state lawmakers, and how will they affect you, your family, and community? If you listen, you'll know. SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
Hi, I'm Billy Kinder, host of Big Billy Kinder Outdoors. Here the show Saturdays at 1, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Turkeys, whitetail, Grenada Lake crappie, or Gulfport redfish. We enjoy it all, especially when you're in camp with us on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We are with the fabulous Norbert Putnam as he played on so many hit records, you can't count them, and produced for some of the biggest acts ever. We got to talk Jimmy Buffett.
One day at breakfast, he says, I started a new song. He says, about a night and a day in Key West, I played a bar and I got drunk, and coming home, I stepped out of my flip-flop, and I just kept going. I stepped on a beer can. And the next morning, I'm up, and I'm hungover, and I'm trying to make a margarita. I got some shrimp boiling. I can't find the salt. I said, Jimmy, I kind of like this. And he said, yeah, I think I'll call it Margaritaville.
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on your local SuperTalk Mississippi station, and now on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
When you listen to SuperTalk Mississippi, you become part of a statewide community, a community of knowledgeable, engaged, enlightened, well-informed, hard-working men and women just like you, all eager to see the Magnolia State grow and prosper. There may be some disagreement on how to get there, but the goal remains the same, for each Mississippian to reach their American dream. Thanks for listening and being a part of the conversation on SuperTalk Mississippi. If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue. Hope you're having a great Friday morning. It's Saints Day today. We'll have coming up here in the second half of the show, Jeff Duncan will join us, and we have to kind of go back and look at that Saints game, which was hard to watch. My son Jordan, I say the same thing every time. When they win, we can't get enough of the Saints during the week. When they lose, we don't read anything Saints. So I'm looking forward to having a conversation with Jeff and seeing what's on his mind. He's trying to talk people off the ledge, incidentally. He does not think all bets are off, but we shall see. Coming up shortly, actually, I have my friend Roxy Condrey from Ocean Springs, a terrific leader. We're going to talk a little bit about the tourism situation, but we're also going to talk about the latest in her business, which I'm really looking forward to. Hey, as you know, if you're a regular listener to Coast Vue, you know that we don't talk about issues too often. We certainly don't talk about politics. This is a show where we celebrate the people who are making this place such a special place to live, work, and play. But every now and then when an issue comes up that is important to coastal Mississippi, because I have a long history of being involved in important issues for this community, having been involved, as a publisher of the Sun Herald, and then one of the founding members of the Coast Business Council, having led the tourism efforts for the Governor's Commission after Hurricane Katrina. I care deeply about this community. One of the reasons I came in off of retirement is to do Coast Vue, is to celebrate this community and reconnect, and I'm really glad that I did, because as digital media happens, we don't have the oversight of local boards, of local elected officials the way we used to. And that actually becomes a problem after a while. You lose accountability. You lose the light of day, and these things are actually quite important. As it relates to coastal Mississippi tourism, I've been pretty measured. I said that we've got a problem, and I'm going to go into much more detail about that problem next week. But if you're following the issue, you now know that there was a Board of Supervisors meeting this past Monday. There is an infamous 3-minute video up on the internet. You can see it at the Coast Vue Facebook page. You can just go search it. You'll find it. It's a really important video that if you watch it in its totality, you get a sense of the problem. You get a sense of the personalities. And at the beginning of the video, they actually Rebecca Powers calls Mark Henderson and me dum-dums. And she sort of indicates that we're the only ones talking about this tourism issue, which couldn't be further from the truth, I might add. But it's just kind of unfortunate that she used those terms. I frankly am used to it because people shoot the messenger. I was in the media business, newspaper publisher for 15, 16 years of my life. I know what that looks like. I don't think that Mark Henderson should be called a dum-dum. If you follow this show, you know he and his wife own Lazy Magnolia. He owns several very sophisticated radar patents. He has a business called Log Linear Group. This guy is a major league entrepreneur. Go take a look at the video, and what you'll see is a lot of snickering and laughing and sort of a threat that if leaders in this community don't stop talking about what's happening, that they're going to pull out of the regional tourism effort. It's really unfortunate. I don't know how we got here. Connie Rocco and I, longtime, I would say friends professionally, not friends in our private lives, but known her for a while. I have respect for her. I don't know how she got so far off base on this issue. I'll look at Beverly Martin. Long history with her. She had a tremendous leadership role in the gaming community. How did she get so crossed up with the gaming community on this issue? And as the president of the board, what is it she come to our defense? Why doesn't she focus on what's best for this region? I don't know. I don't know Rebecca Powers. We don't have a personal relationship. And frankly, I'm not sure I want a personal relationship with Rebecca. I've watched her in action. I've seen sort of at times what I see as a lack of respect and a lack of humanity. And we saw that in display during that 3-minute video. It's really unfortunate. But I want to be clear. It's not about me. My focus is on the big ball here. The big ball is what's best for coastal Mississippi. I don't have my feelings hurt at all. You can go to my personal Facebook page and read the comments. There are a lot of people who are thinking about this. And I've heard from a lot of people about their concerns about things in general that go way beyond tourism. Maybe one day we'll talk about those things. In the days that follow, though, this Wednesday, the Gaming Association, it's the Mississippi Gaming and Hospitality Association, issued a letter. It's a joint statement from the Coastal Mississippi Gaming executives, and I want to read it to you. As the largest tourism stakeholders along the Mississippi Gulf Coast, we have watched with great concern and disappointment the recent turmoil within the Coastal Mississippi Tourism Commission. We have consistently expressed our strong desire for stability in the agency's professional leadership and the prioritization of strengthened regional cooperation, especially considering our ongoing recovery from the severe economic and operational disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, as evidenced by the millions of dollars in recent state and federal grant funding secured by the agency, the Coastal Mississippi regional approach works. What we built ensures a broad-based political support necessary to successfully secure significant external funding for destination marketing. Many casino executives have engaged in thoughtful and constructive discussions with Harrison County Tourism Commissioners, and the broader business community has engaged in direct discussions with the Harrison County supervisors to voice our shared concerns. However, despite our efforts, our concerns and suggestions have been disregarded or ignored and countered with threats to end the One Coast regional cooperation on tourism. The regional initiative we have all supported must be preserved. Our gaming properties employ more than 10,000 workers in the Mississippi coastal counties, generating more than $400 million annually in wages and benefits. We are responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in total state and local taxes. Moreover, our properties and those local hotel partners generate all of the taxes that fund the Coastal Mississippi's destination marketing operations. We have a fiduciary responsibility to our employees, shareholders, guests to ensure that the funds are managed effectively with operational secure framework and benefit in a way that benefits our regional approach, shared responsibility, and shared oversight. Therefore, we, the undersigned, call on the elected officials of Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson County to partner with our industry to identify a path forward as Coastal Mississippi. We further pledge our collective attention and engagement in discussions surrounding the future of the agency, structure, and governance. We cannot and will not remain silent in the face of threats to destroy the regional efforts and partnerships we've worked so diligently to develop in recent years. We unequivocally support the efforts of Coastal Mississippi's business community to ensure tourism-dependent businesses have a voice in local tourism decisions, and we stand ready to work with all regional businesses and elected officials who have an interest in finding long-term solutions to ensure regional collaboration and success in our destination marketing efforts. That is a powerful letter. That tells you that it's more than me and Mark. It's more than Mark and Ricky Mathews having this conversation. Signed by John Ferrucci, General Manager of the Silver Slipper, Michael Pendergrass, General Manager of Hollywood Gulf Coast and Boomtown Casino, Jonathan Jones, who's the General Manager of Harris Gulf Coast and co-chairs the effort for the Business Council, Travis Lund, General Manager of the Beau Rivage, he also co-chairs this effort, Chad Harrison, the General Manager of Golden Nugget Biloxi, Susan Varnes from the General Manager of Treasure Bay, Luann Pappas from she's the General Manager at the Scarlet Pearl Casino and Hotel, Keith Crosby from the Palace Casino, Todd Rauziano, who is the General Manager at Hard Rock, Vincent Schwartz, the General Manager of IP Casino and Resort, and then Lindsay Inman from the Island View Casino. I should also point out that a story came out on Mississippi Today. You can go to the Coast Vue Facebook page to see this story, but the headline says Mississippi's largest tourism board is on the brink of collapse. And it's a terrific story by Sarah DeNatale, and it really sort of tells the story. It reflects on this note that I just read from the casino executives, goes into some of their meetings. This has been in the making for over a year, and it's really unfortunate. But I'll have a lot more to say about it next week, and I look forward to getting Roxy's, current thinking about some of this in just a second. Let me remind you of who Roxy Condrey is. She is co-owner of Rain Residential with her husband Ted. They both highly invested in the local community. They are the owner of the Inn and the Beatnik Hotels in Ocean Springs, and they operate and are part owner of the Roost Boutique Hotel and have been for about, I guess, going on 4 years now. Their Rain Residential Properties Management Company operates or manages over 250 properties along the Gulf Coast. And she recently resigned from the Coastal Mississippi Board. But she represents the exact kind of leader you want on the board, someone who's got a dog in the hunt, someone who's got a payroll to meet. So anyway, I've been looking forward to chatting with you this morning, Roxy. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I guess probably let's start from this. I tell you what, we're coming to the end of this segment. I want to make sure we start fresh. So at the beginning of the next segment, you and I will sort of reflect for a bit how you're probably not at all surprised that this letter came out from the gaming group, and that there's so much alignment in the gaming community and the business community. When we come back, I just want to get your thoughts about the whole situation. We'll see you after this break.
That's right.
Coast View on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk, Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. Super Talk, Mississippi. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen. Okay. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on Super Talk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices. Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. We have Roxy Condrey. And Roxy, one of the things I want to say to start out with, when I heard that you were being named to the commission, I was thrilled because you represented the kind of leader that I believe needed to be on this commission. And but unfortunately, by the time you came into the conversation, the die was pretty cast on their efforts to terminate Milton. And what I'll do next week, and I've posted something on the Coast Vue site that you can go back and the listeners can go look at. It's sort of a historical perspective on what happened. But at the end of the day, we have to fix a system that enables 2 or 3 personalities to control the course of history for the entire coast Mississippi marketing effort. But I think that when you went in that, you were hopeful, right? You were hopeful that you could have some kind of an influence on the situation.
Absolutely. When I accepted the appointment, I did, I had read the news. I knew that there was issues. I had some understanding of what was going on, but certainly did not understand how bad it had become. But absolutely, in business, you're a problem solver and you think that you are going to have an opportunity to come to a resolution. And there's never really a situation where I think that there's not a way to solve the problem. So certainly coming in, I thought there was a path forward, and then there was a way that I could, help with that solution. And so I came in hopeful, and it was really, really hard to decide to resign. Certainly didn't ever expect to be so, short-lived on being a commissioner. But I really realized that I just fundamentally disagreed with the path that the board was taking. And I didn't see any viable options as a Jackson County commissioner that I could effectively change it. And if I would have stayed. But I didn't see that. And, when I came on board, I basically within the past 30 days, the CEO was fired, 2 Hancock commissioners resigned. One of our directors of communications, he put in his 2 weeks. Another Jackson County commissioner resigned, and I was the 4th commissioner to resign. There's major issues going on, and they were escalating really fast. And my opinion is that it was all spurring from just a true lack of trust within the organization. And I didn't see that anyone was willing to acknowledge that or really try to find a path to resolve that issue. And without trust, you really start making decisions that aren't based on data, and you're, you don't have the information that you should, and not basing it on the right things and letting that guide your decision making. It's, in my opinion, the wrong way that you should be running an organization. And I was concerned. So.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. So when you saw the Mississippi Today story that said the board was on the brink of collapse, you knew it fundamentally. You knew it in the depth of your bones. You knew that was actually a very accurate headline, wasn't it?
It absolutely was. I had said it before that, and that was part of my decision. I truly felt like if dismantling coastal Mississippi was not the goal, we all should be concerned, because that was the direction it was heading. And I'm very thankful that the casino heads have put out the statement that they did. I think it is the step in the right direction to get the notice where it needs to be. We have major issues that have to be considered as issues. And when all of these things are happening and you're still not recognizing the problem, I think that shows that there is a core issue it's really deep. And I think with the casino GMs making the statement that they did, people will start looking at this for what it is and will realize that we need to take action. I truly believe in regional tourism. I got on the board and was willing to volunteer my time for that effort, and I think it works. I mean, if anyone looks at what coastal Mississippi has done, I think you probably know better. Wasn't it formed in like 2014?
2013, right.
Okay. I mean, it's amazing. And it's, it's not an experiment anymore. And I know at that point, there was a lot of forward thinkers that came up with this idea, and I'm sure it was really hard to get past, and they were able to do it. And now it's been proven. And if people will look at what the staff and this organization has been able to do, it's incredible. And I, for one, I'm in the tourism, industry, and I can see how that has affected our business, and I understand the value that it provides to the coast. And so I definitely am concerned that this organization could be dismantled, because it truly is an engine that we need to continually work towards promoting and keeping together. And the casino heads, coming together and saying that as well, I think speaks very true to what, all of us have felt as well. And we working together, I think, can get there, but we can't allow just a couple of people that might not necessarily believe regional tourism is the route to go to bring it down, because it's too big of an impact on the coast for us to allow that to happen.
I'm thrilled that they wrote their statement, but more importantly, what's behind it? What's behind it is an incredible alignment, a dogged determination to find a solution. This is not one of those issues where the dust's going to settle and this is going to go away. And then also the fact that Jonathan Jones and Travis Lund from Harrah's and Beau Rivage are co-leading this effort for the Business Council. People need to hear that. These two organizations are in lockstep with each other, working to go find a solution, and it's exciting. Hey, I'll say this, though. You can see their public statements. This is from the board as all this stuff is sort of melting down. And you can see they're trying to control the narrative by saying things such as, this was just an administrative disagreement. And for them to say that in the midst of all of this shows just how out of touch with the reality they really are. And it shows why we've really got to think hard about how we structure this and lead it going forward. So that's enough for now. Roxy, I appreciate your willingness to get involved. I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you, but your voice is powerful. You make a payroll in this industry. You can prove that their data-driven approach that they're literally taking apart as we speak is the best approach, and enable coastal Mississippi to have some of the best numbers in the United States coming out of the pandemic. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Okay, so let's do this. You guys just got finished with a great renovation of the Roost. Tell me about it.
Yes, we are very excited. We completed, actually in July, the building, we had purchased a building beside the Roost and put 8 more rooms into the mix. So now we have 19 rooms at the Roost. And it was also a historical building, had some cool history. We were able to, once we purchased it, realized it actually had a fire. And we were planning on adding on to it, but we realized in the midst of that construction that we were actually bringing it back to exactly what it was before. It was a 2-story structure. So that was really fun. So we did some really fun things with the construction to kind of tell that story. When you do go up the stairs to the 2nd story, we were able to use a technique called shushabond, which is where you preserve the wood through burning the wood. So we pulled in some touches like that, but it ended up, I think, turning out beautifully. It's 8 additional rooms for the Roost, and it also gave us the opportunity to add a pool as an amenity for the hotel. So
for the Facebook and YouTube audience, we showed some of the pictures. So if you really want to get a good look at this, go take a look at our video at our Facebook page, or the YouTube page. But man, it's beautiful. I mean, you guys have such a touch for what I would refer to as casual elegance.
Well, thank you.
Is that the way you would describe it?
I think that definitely translates, because we want people to be comfortable and feel like, it's not too nice where they can't feel comfortable in the space, but also elevate the experience in every way that we can and really tell a story. We're really all about experience travel, and we want them to understand the culture, the art, the history of Ocean Springs, and they feel that in everything we do with the hotel. So we hope that when they stay with us, they'll get that out of every little detail that we've thought so tirelessly about as we've, developed the property.
Well, you guys have got, first of all, your unique collection of boutique hotels, each with their own personality. And now Joe, that you manage, opens up the Hemingway, and there are other ideas that are happening out there. But these boutique hotels are such a great fit for Ocean Springs, aren't they?
I totally agree. I mean, I know there's been talk of having some larger hotels to, help the demand. And we did purchase Gulf Hills recently, and I think that'll help. But I also think that's another boutique hotel as well experience, and it has a lot of history. So I do hope that we see Ocean Springs continue to grow in this boutique market, and we'll continue to see these hotels that really tell stories and are able to exemplify what Ocean Springs is all about.
Well, look, I was at Town Green Wednesday. And, that was the big cruising moment and people all over. And I walked around with Woody Bailey, Mr. Cruising himself, spent a lot of time with Mayor Fofo Gillage. He's such a good friend. Steve Azar was there and Gerard with his show. And I did Coast Vue live from there. But let me just tell you, the people who are here for cruising could not be happier. They are just loving this place. And I know that tonight, in Ocean Springs, the main stage, sock hop and poodle skirts, and it's going to be a great fit for downtown Ocean Springs, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's such a fun time for us. We get Cruising the Coast, and we get Peter Anderson. The festival season is always wonderful. And I think it's really a great opportunity for us to show off, Ocean Springs and what makes it special. So we're happy that people keep coming and it keeps growing.
Well, Roxy, congratulations on your continued success. And while you may not be on the Coastal Mississippi Commission anymore, you probably will play a bigger role in helping to fix this as a result of being on the outside as opposed to being on the inside. Anyway, God bless you, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
You bet. When we come back, we'll have Jeff Duncan.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast Vue on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to supertalkmsgulfcoast.com.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi, and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Get the scoop on what happened in college football and what to expect in the NFL. Each Sunday on Sports Sunday with Michael Borky. Get the story behind the stats, 8 to 10 a.m. on SuperTalk Mississippi, supertalk.fm, and watch the show on supertalk.tv. SuperTalk Mississippi. We're more than just words. This is where the story of your state is told. Proud to cover the Magnolia State like nobody else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard to find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
SuperTalk Mississippi. From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. Talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter, has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard. And,
wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show
on SuperTalk Mississippi.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast Vue, and enjoyed that conversation with so many, with Roxy Condrey. But as we talk about the tourism situation here in coastal Mississippi, it's so important that we stay focused on that one. So let's go and shift gears now and go to my friend Jeff Duncan. I told one of our guests this week, Jeff, that you thought about coming over to coastal Mississippi this week because you felt like you deserved the break, but you had no idea cruising the coast was going on. And what did you learn when you tried to find a place to stay?
It's impossible. at least at the late juncture when I arrived at my decision. I do think I'm going to get over there and stay with a friend for at least one night. I want to get over and experience the cruising the coast, and so I'm looking forward to it. Hope the weather cooperates.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, I want to talk about your incredible series about the secession plan of Gail Benson. But before we do that, I just want to go to one thing so people can understand sort of what's coming after we talk about that. When the Saints lose, I don't like to read anything about the Saints. We talked about that before. When they win, I can't read enough about the Saints. But you've been writing essentially, settle down, just settle down. They're still trying to find who they are. What's your headline about where the Saints are?
I just think they're going through the typical growing pains of a club adjusting and making a transition to a new quarterback. If you look back and the numbers are staggering, what Drew Brees was at in his first 4 games. I mean, actually, Jameis Winston's numbers are ahead of Drew Brees in a lot of ways. He didn't throw for as many yards, but he's thrown for more touchdowns and fewer interceptions. So I think we got so spoiled, we being the media and fans, with Drew Brees and the level that he played at, that it's just been a little bit of panic. Look, the team let one slip away on Sunday, but this is still a very talented team that's going to get a lot of really good players back soon. They have a good coaching staff, and they tend to do this, Ricky. I mean, last year they were 1-2 and scrambling around on defense and having communication errors, and the coaches tinker and adjust, and they fix the problems. I mean, they have a track record of that. They have the best record in the NFL over the last 4.5 seasons in the month of October and November, and really no one else is close. And that just shows that Peyton is good at identifying what's the problem with each given team and fixing it as the season progresses.
We'll come back to some of those details in a second, but I want our listeners to know, who are not regular listeners of mine and Jeff's conversations, that we worked together when I was over in New Orleans as publisher of the Times-Picayune and president of NOLA Media Group. Obviously, we had NOLA.com as well. That's where he works today after a relatively short stint at The Athletic. While I was there, the whole discussion and debate and lawsuit actually relating around Tom Benson was still alive. His daughter and her kids were working hard to say that he wasn't really able to make decisions about secession, et cetera, and there was a big bow. Well, anyway, long story short, Jeff broke that story. Jeff has unbelievable connections. So when it came time to sort of write a story, now that Gail Benson's in control, she has no heirs. What happens to the Saints? How do they make the Saints? Probably unlike any other community in the United States. I'll say it, unlike any other community in the United States, had this symbiotic, incredibly important economic and otherwise cultural relationship with the city of New Orleans in this region. And, you know, as I've read your series, Jeff, and some multi-part series about secession planning, et cetera, man, they didn't leave a stone unturned, did they?
No, and they really can't afford to. It's too big a decision, Ricky. And this dates back all the way to when Tom Benson, his final years. I mean, this succession plan, he was a big part of it. And the NFL requires, because these are such big transactions and because there's only 32 teams, every one of them is so important, and the unique situation that Tom Benson and Gail Benson had with, his presumed heirs and family members that were no longer going to be a part of this transaction, and the fact that Gail and Tom do not have kids of their own. So that made it a unique situation. A lot of people were curious what was going to happen to the teams because they knew Gail Benson had no children to leave the team to. So it's been a subject of speculation and rumor for years here, and we were grateful that the organization and Gail Benson were willing to share their story and what their plan was with us this time around.
Well, a key figure. Well, first of all, the ultimate key figure is Gail Benson and her commitment to the community. People questioned that commitment. You know, some even called her a gold digger back in those days. She never got off her game one time. Gail Benson has been 100% committed to the city of New Orleans and to this team, and it's been amazing watching her. So she first of all, she has been a significant leader in this conversation. But when you think about Dean Lashout and the role that he played early on with Tom Benson, I think he was 29 years old, was an accountant, came into the organization, earned the respect of people in the Benson organization, and how quickly he has did emerge as a leader and then ultimately becoming president of the Saints. But you think about all these key players getting put in place, Jeff. Man, they were thinking for a long time about how this might work.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think it's a very unique situation in the NFL, what the Saints have. The fact you've got Dennis Lauscha, Greg Bensel, Ben Hales, Gail Benson, almost the entire management ownership team are New Orleans natives. And that's just not common around the NFL.
Mickey Loomis.
Yeah, well, Mickey's not a New Orleans native, but he is, he's lived here now for 25 years. They just got a lot of people that are from here that want to see this team succeed and want to keep the team here. So I think that is important. They understand the unique relationship you mentioned earlier between the city and the fans and this team. It's as close as it gets to the Green Bay Packers. And that'll never happen, unfortunately, in the NFL again. There won't be a public ownership like the Packers have. But this is about as close as it gets because the team gets so much public support from the state of Louisiana through taxpayer subsidies that Gail Benson, I think, is very refreshing in how she looks at her role as an owner. I mean, she even said it in the story that she feels like she's a steward of this team, and she gets it. It's not all about her. And I just think that's a great way to look at it because I think it's very true.
She has come out of this extraordinarily classy, extraordinarily willing to sort of pass the attention to other people. Her commitment to the nonprofit community and all of that, just incredible what that means. And we'll get to what this means in terms of literally one of the most significant foundations in any community in the United States. But before we do that, Dennis really cut his teeth, though, when he was doing the Superdome deals. And I want you to kind of describe to people this, I guess at times kind of rocky road, but this incredibly important relationship the Saints have with the Superdome.
Well, what the Saints need is a very favorable lease agreement with the state of Louisiana at the Superdome. They don't have to pay any rent, and that's very unusual in the NFL. They have a lot of revenue stream thresholds that they get within the building that a lot of other teams don't get, and this allows them to compete in a league with bigger market teams like the Dallas Cowboys and Los Angeles Rams that have much more thriving economies and economic bases. More Fortune 500 companies that buy up the big expensive luxury suites and sponsorship deals. The Saints just don't have that in New Orleans. I mean, Dennis Lauscha calls the Saints the Walmart of the NFL. You know, they have smaller margins. They have to turn over a lot of tickets. They have to always sell out the building. But this deal that they have with the state keeps them really, if they're successful in selling out their games and getting people to come to the games so they can have merchandise, parking, concession sales, they can compete in the top 12 or so teams in the league revenue-wise. And that was Tom Benson's goal all along. There's 12 playoff teams every year. Now there's 14. But at the time, he wanted to be in the top 12 in revenue so he could compete off the field as well as on the field. And the state has cooperated and done that. And I think what that says, Ricky, and look, we're all here in the Gulf Coast, the most football passionate part of the country. What people have said in this state is we want to not just have an NFL team that's surviving and able to be in the league. We want a good team. That's what the taxpayers have said by endorsing these deals. We want to put the Saints in a competitive situation so they can compete for titles. And I think that's really what came out of these stories that we did.
And what's important is that Dennis Lauscha, again, the president of the Saints organization, he came out of that known as a tough negotiator, but a guy. I mean, a guy who could keep relationships, but still be a tough negotiator. And I told you in my dealings with him when I was over in New Orleans was he always went out of his way to speak to me. He wanted to know how things were going. He didn't feel like he was better than me or better than anyone around him. He's a guy who seems to be incredibly comfortable in his own skin. When we come back, we'll close the loop on Dennis and then talk about this incredible legacy that they'll leave the city of New Orleans and the region when we come back with our conversation with Jeff Duncan.
You can also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. all in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Del Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera slips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Listen, I always enjoy my conversations with Jeff Duncan. We need to get to the Saints quickly, but I just want to say once again that if you haven't signed up for the NOLA.com Times-Picayune daily newsletter that comes out, you need to do it. Just go to the NOLA.com website, follow the directions. You'll be really glad that you did. It's a very great newsletter. And you'll have access when you do to stories like what Jeff just wrote. And it is a fascinating story of their love and commitment to the city. And at the end of the day, this foundation, how important is this foundation going to be to the city?
Well, it's extraordinary, unprecedented situation, Ricky. The way it's going to work now, the succession plan, because Gail Benson does not have any heirs, the teams have to be sold upon her death. And when that happens, Dennis Lauscher will oversee the sale along with the NFL. They'll find new owners, and Gail Benson's 74, very healthy right now. So we're not talking about something that's going to happen tomorrow, but the plan is in place. When it does happen, the multi-billion-dollar proceeds, which is what's going to happen when you sell the Saints and the Pelicans, they're valued right now combined over $4 billion. Who knows what they'll be in a decade? So all those proceeds are going to go into a family trust, and she's designated a number of organizations in the New Orleans area that she wants to disperse the funds from the sale to, and then the rest of the money is all going to go into a foundation, the Tom and Gail Benson Charitable Foundation, And each year they will award grants for decades into the city of New Orleans, different
hundreds of millions of dollars.
By far, to be the biggest foundation in the state of Louisiana. There's really nothing close because we're talking about billions of dollars will be in that fund.
So if you're interested in this story, and it is a great story, you ought to go to NOLA.com and take a look at it. Hey, let's shift gears real quick. I watched the Jameis Winston press conference. One of the questions that was asked of him is this notion or this rumor that somehow Peyton lacks confidence in Jameis. So what's your thoughts about that?
That was my question.
Good. I didn't realize you're the one who asked it. Yeah.
I asked him about it. He gave a great answer. And I think he made a great point is that he has to earn the trust. I thought what he said was very candid and refreshing, how his viewpoint of it look, this is Sean Payton's offense. He's been successful. I have to fit in, and I have to earn that trust. He said Drew Brees didn't have that trust after 4 games either. He had to earn it. And I think that's what we're seeing right now is a quarterback and head coach learning what makes each other tick, and they're going to get there. I
thought his answer was awesome.
Yeah, I did too.
I think he stands up. I think dude, I know this group. That's a tough group, man. If you're losing, that's a tough group. They're smart as hell, and they ask tough questions. I think he stands up to that group as good as I've ever seen a quarterback stand up to that group. He's calm, he's thoughtful, he's collected, and he says the right things.
Well, and he's accountable. He's not dodging it. He's saying, I need to play better. And I really thought he played his best game last week against the Giants. His numbers were terrific. He really was never in harm's way with the ball. He took care of the ball. The team that game turned, Ricky, when Saquon Barkley had that big, quick score, 52-yard touchdown. The momentum changed. And they were a desperate team, and you could just sense the energy on their sideline and the body language changing. And they got the momentum right at the very end of the game, and the Saints couldn't reverse it. And it just was one of those things. And Sean Payton's message afterwards, you can't let a team like that.
But Jeff, you and I both know, and most Saints fans know this, that in order for this offense to work, for this scheme, this game scheme that he has developed, he has to have confidence in his kicker.
Yeah, and he doesn't, and that's why Aldrick Rosas is no longer with the Saints, and they brought in Cody Parker this week, another veteran kicker, to stem the tide until they get to Will Lutz back. He should be back here in a few weeks, but the fact that Sean Payton didn't have confidence in Rosas, who had missed 2 field goals in a row against New England, made that game a little closer than it should have been. I think that messed with Sean Payton's head a little bit in his decision making. He bypassed a chance to kick a 48-yarder, and then tries a 58-yarder later on. Neither one of those decisions turned out in the Saints' favor. And in a close game like that, where you end up going to overtime, it ultimately ends up costing you the game.
Well, I said at the beginning of the show, you wrote a column that said reasons to believe the yo-yo Saints can go on a run. You believe it, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, they've done it in the past. I mean, like I mentioned, the record in October, November, it should give Saints fans confidence that this coaching staff and look, they're going to get a lot of really good players back. I know they don't make excuses in New Orleans. It's one of my favorite things about Sean Payton. But the reality is some of their best players, including 2 of their best defensive linemen and 2 of their best offensive linemen, and their best receiver and their all-pro kicker have all been out. And they're all going to be back in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I think this team's going to take off.
I hope you're right. Yeah, you see it, man. Even in this game this past weekend, come on, let's face it. It had all the makings of a win. And just a few plays here or there changed everything. I was disappointed in the defense. They looked pretty porous there toward the end of that game, but I know they'll get that fixed. We've seen that before. But, Jeff, keep up the great work. Thank you for joining us on Fridays. And I'm assuming you think they're going to do pretty well against Washington.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if they don't win this game easily, and then go into the bye week at 3-2, get rested up, get healed up, get some of these injured players back, and make a big run.
Absolutely. This has been Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.